Every now and then you have a film that pretty much tries to dedicate a genre by making one film that pretty much represents that genre. Van Helsing was one of those films. Now, Van Helsing was supposed to be a tribute to the Frankensteins in the world, to the Dracula of the world, Dr. Jessica and Mr. Hyde. I remember this film being promoted in a special promotional trailer. Now, there's a difference between promotional trailers and actual trailers. These trailers are actually being promoted in a way to try and sell you this film is great. I remember sitting in the theater. I remember seeing some of the effects that they was having. I remember the director, Steve Summers, talking about this film being a great homage to monster films. Monster films, we haven't had a monster film, true monster film, or a series of monster films in a long time. Yes, we have the occasional Wolfman and Frankenstein and the Mummy comes out from time to time, but we never came out in sequence. Back then, the genre of the haunted house and all the other monster films, they came in sequence and they came in bundles sometimes, unto the point where they overflooded the market. We didn't have that, and this was a perfect opportunity to pretty much not only pay tribute to these monster films that have scared people in cinema for many, many years, but also, pretty much reintroduce these monsters for the newer generation who may not have been exposed to these films like we have doing, the 80s reruns and the 70s and the 60s. They dropped the ball. They really dropped the ball in Van Helsing, to the point where when I saw this film, I was amazed and utterly disappointed in how they had such a lack of story, such a lack of vision, and really much substituted too much stuff to the CGI. Almost the storyline itself just didn't make any sense to me. It literally didn't make any sense at all. But here it was. The Riyadh Van Helsing. Now, what's my feeling on Hugh Jackman? Well, Hugh Jackman wasn't bad as Van Helsing, but he wasn't Van Helsing. And that was the first thing a lot of diehard monster fans have caught on quickly. Everybody knew who Van Helsing is. Hell, Francis Ford Coppola knew who Van Helsing is, and I think his movie did a better portrayal of Van Helsing than this film done. And again, I'm not knocking Hugh Jackman. I think he would have. I think if you give him a better script, with someone who actually cared more for the script, he probably would have been one of the better Van Helsing. But he wasn't Van Helsing, and that was the biggest problem with a lot of people. When I saw the film, I just didn't see it. I just didn't feel it. They made him. You didn't even know if Abraham Van Helsing, which was his name, or Gabrielle Van Helsing, whatever you want to call him these days. You didn't know if he was immortal or not. They hinted that he was immortal, but you didn't know if he was immortal. You didn't know if he bleeds and dies, and that was the weirdest part about this. What type of movie is this? He said he's Gabrielle Van Helsing. It's not obviously he's not the same Van Helsing, but yet he knew each other. So you see how confusing that is. But let's start with the fact is that this was supposed to be a homage to all the monster films that came out. There was only two major monsters in this entire film. That was Dracula, his brides, if you want to count them, and Frankenstein, which didn't know he wants to live or die. So it really drove me nuts. He first wants to live, then he said, "You got to kill me." Make up your mind, bro. Really, make up your mind. It really, I really felt they dropped the ball tremendously with these characters. Dr. Jekyll, and Mr. Hyde, and uh, was CGI, which was horrible in my opinion. The only thing I gotta say is that I like the music. I think that Hugh Jackman did everything he could to in this film, but I just felt they did a terrible job with everything else, except for one thing. I did like the guy, the Dracula character. He was actually pretty cool. I actually liked how he played form it. But again, it was just everything else was just really, guys. You're telling me this place um, they can get brave and pull out weapons out of nowhere to go after Van Helsing. For some reason, they can't seem to do the same when these vampires attacks. I just don't get it. I mean, I really don't get it. But I guess that's the problem with the film. I just didn't understand what they were shooting for. I really didn't understand what they were trying to prove. I definitely didn't felt this was a tribute to all the great horror and monster films in the past, or even horror films for that matter. To me, it's just one of those sci-fi style action films that really had no rhyme or reason to be made, other than the fact just to throw a lot of CGI out there and a lot of effects. I didn't buy the romance between the two characters. I was saddened to see one of the characters go the way she did, but I really didn't felt the romance. It was kind of forced um, into that film, and just basically a lot of stuff was just forced. A lot of stuff that explanation felt like they just need to put an explanation there. I didn't felt Van Helsing um, had a proper structure, had a proper identity. I think they didn't give the character any depth whatsoever. Even with Hugh Jackman performance, there was only so much he can do. And I felt that this film was really, when I saw it, was just a major disappointment. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I liked the music. I mean, I really did. I thought the music really did, really did capture the tone of what they were trying to do. But I just felt that they focused too much on CGI and just action and not enough on developing a good story or even a script for that matter. This was a disappointing movie. It was a very disappointing movie. It was sad because I wanted to see a homage to these great monster films, which have entertained a lot of people over the years. I just felt they didn't do it. I really felt that this was not what a lot of people was hoping for or was wishing for at that time. The film didn't do too well in the box office. Critics didn't like it either. And from what I hear from a lot of people who are big time Van Helsing, who read the Van Helsing books, there's actually a couple of short stories, and actually like the Draco Mythfalls, they said they really dropped the ball on his character. Again, I gotta stress this: when you make a film that's supposed to pay homage to the to that genre, do it and understand that the people who are going to see this first are the people who are die-hard monster fans, especially vampire fans. And believe me, they were not happy. On a scale of 1 to 4, I give this film 2 stars. Again, it wasn't the terrible thing to see action-wise. It was a popcorn eater. I actually look at it as a junk food film, but I can't take it seriously as a film that pays tribute to a genre that, to me, was more serious and had more passion than the writers did with this movie. That's just my opinion on it. You may disagree. That's fine. I'd like to hear your opinion on it. You may consider this to be, one of your most disappointing things I've talked about in the movie, but this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. And put it on the comment section. Until then, this is J77. Say take care, be safe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.